In this compilation video, we share some dashcam footage clips of dodgy drivers that will hopefully ensure that you stay alert when using the roads. And remember, it isn't just members of the public who fall victim to dodgy drivers. Thankfully, nobody on the receiving end of the dodgy drivers who are featured in this video was injured. With over 4 million dashcams, not including helmet cams, now on UK roads, if you are a dodgy driver, then the chances of your being caught are very high. So if you don't want to get caught, then don't be a dodgy driver. Just quickly, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Our channel is run by former emergency services personnel, and please don't forget to give the video a like. Hampshire Police has released some blue light dashcam footage of the moment when an emergency ambulance belonging to South Central Ambulance Service had to swerve to avoid a motorist who pulled out on them whilst they were responding to an emergency. Thankfully, the life-saving medics in the emergency ambulance were not seriously injured, and they were not carrying a patient at the time of the incident. However, the individual who was driving the Fiesta did not stop at the scene, and now the police are asking for the public's help to find out who was behind the wheel. The incident happened at around 23:15 hours on Friday the 20th of September on the A339 at the junction with Spain Lane. An estimated £26,000 worth of damage was caused to the emergency ambulance, and another crew had to be sent to the emergency call that this crew were responding to. Remember, there are millions of dashcams on UK roads silently watching, looking out for dodgy drivers. For example, this driver had a lucky escape after misjudging a corner. Next up, the driver of this van decided to do an overtake, and well, why bother driving on the right side of the road when you can just continue onwards on the wrong side? And let's not forget that cyclists also have cameras on their helmets as well. The fact that the oncoming vehicle in this clip flashes their headlights tells us one thing, and there it is. And just in case you had forgotten, here's a polite reminder that when you approach a roundabout, you have to give way to the right. The driver of this white Audi ended up getting a letter through their front door after this dodgy manoeuvre was caught on dashcam. Next, the driver of this red BMW carries out a ridiculous overtake on the approach to a roundabout. And whilst we know that there are probably more traffic lights in this country than there are people, it's always a good idea to wait at a red ATS. The driver of this VW Golf decided not to stay in their lane and ended up doing an overtake that rocked the suspension of the VW Golf to its core. For this blatant display of dodgy driving, the driver was summoned to court to answer charges of dangerous driving. Next, the driver of this blue Fiesta ended up driving the wrong way down a one-way street. They ended up having to complete at their own cost a driver retraining course. This lorry driver tried to overtake a car coming off of a roundabout. However, he did not look ahead and failed to realise that he would run out of road. He was processed for driving without due care and attention and volunteered to take an expensive driver retraining course rather than have his licence endorsed with points. Don't even ask what the driver of this Fiesta was doing or how they got here. The footage was sent off to Durham Constabulary via Operation Snap, and the driver was hit with a hefty fine and was also given points on their driving licence. These two Audi drivers are racing each other on a stretch of road with a 30-mile-an-hour limit. What they didn't count on was overtaking a dashcam car, which sent the footage off to the authorities. As the cam car was driving along in lane 2, no doubt the driver noticed a red Audi come speeding towards it from behind. Although we don't know the exact speed of the two Audis, it is fair to say that they were driving beyond the posted speed limit. Not only were they racing each other, they both decided that the red ATS ahead didn't apply to either of them. Once the dashcam footage was reviewed, the two drivers were prosecuted for careless driving. They were both disqualified from driving for 15 months and given an 18-month community order with 100 hours of unpaid work, plus they were each fined £425. Double white lines are there for a reason, but the individual who was driving this white Audi thought that they did not apply to them. They were fined over £1,000 and given 5 penalty points on their licence. Next, after missing an exit, the driver of this HGV decided to cut in front of another motorist before crossing the solid white chevrons. If a biker was in his blind spot, then they would have stood no chance at all. The driver was given a fine of £160 and had their driving licence endorsed with 3 penalty points. Who knows what this van driver was thinking when he mounted the curb. Luckily the young girl saw this numpty come hurtling towards her and so managed to jump out of the way just in the nick of time. The driver of the van was given a £200 fine and was also given 5 penalty points on their driving licence. You've just witnessed the moment when a HGV driver who was not paying attention at the wheel ploughed into the back of several parked cars. The police used the dashcam footage to prosecute the driver. Thankfully, the drivers and the passengers in the vehicles which were hit did recover, at least physically, from the incident. The incident happened in Merseyside during a cold and wet December. The driver of the HGV was given a suspended prison sentence, was disqualified from driving and must take an extended retest should he decide to get back behind the wheel again. And all of this just because he was not paying attention to the road in front of him. And that is why dashcam footage and schemes like Operation Snap are so important. If drivers know that they are being watched, then surely they are less likely to take risks that will endanger road users. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, here at ESN we have all previously served in the emergency services. Like many of you, we have seen firsthand what can happen on the roads at the hands of dodgy drivers and drivers who do not pay attention to the roads. Most accidents are avoidable. We often read the comments on these videos and see how some viewers accuse the people who submit footage as being, quote, grassies, unquote. But how would you feel if you or a member of your family was involved in an accident that had been caused by a dodgy driver? If you do not want to be caught driving like an idiot, then surely the answer is simple. Don't put other road users at risk. If you are considering getting a dashcam, check out our carefully selected options in our Amazon affiliate store. We'll pin the link in the comments below. Any purchases you make on Amazon after clicking through will help support our channel. If you already have a dashcam and have captured a dodgy driver in action, head to the website of the police force in the area where the incident happened to find out how to submit your footage. If you'd like to stay up to date with what is happening on the front line of the emergency services, then be sure to sign up for our free newsletter. You don't have to be in the emergency services to subscribe. The newsletter is for both members of the emergency services and their many supporters. If you are interested, then we will leave a link in the video description.